One stole a player's wife, another put a legend in the hospital. But before we get to those, Erling Haaland hates a football star because they ruined his dad's life. Haaland grew up watching his dad, Alfie, play for Man City, which turned him into a super fan. Until they went up against their rivals Man U and one of their players, Roy Keane, ruined Alfie's life.
For 8 years I wasn't injured. Coincidence or not, that was my last 90 minutes in England. Is that a coincidence or isn't it?
Roy Keane of Holland.
I haven't played a full 90 minutes after that incident, and that's the hard fact.
He literally Jackie Chan dude. The dirty play was obviously intentional, because when Roy got kicked out the game, he trash-talked Alfie and said, "I'd waited long enough. Take that, you c***." And Alfie suffered a knee injury so bad, he was forced to retire from football and get a normal job. So Haaland hated Roy and Man U because of this. But he used the hate as motivation to become a football star, just so he could get payback. Haaland eventually joined his dad's old club and couldn't wait to bully Man U players.
Which team are you most looking forward to playing against?
I don't like to say the word, but Manchester United, yeah.
And the hate was so real, Haaland proved it by not even being able to take a picture without covering their logo up. In his first game against Man U, dude went off scoring 3 goals. Then in one of the biggest tournaments of the year, Haaland beat him again and was cheesing when he held up the trophy in front of United and their fans. Hate to say it, but Alfie's life being ruined might have been the best thing to happen to Haaland, because his hate for players turned him into a football legend. But that's only one set of football players who hate each other. We still gotta get to the football player who smashed the legend's wife, and the other players' beef that turned into a $17 million scandal. But before we get to those, Neymar's hate towards a football star broke up the biggest super team in football history. And ironically, it wasn't even beef at first, because when Neymar joined PSG and the club brought in another football star, Kylian Mbappe, two of the world's best on the same squad seemed like a winning formula to everybody. They were hyped to be teammates and even became best friends. From doing commercials together to kicking it off the pitch, these dudes even celebrated all their goals together. But as soon as Mbappe started becoming a better player than Neymar, their friendship turned into a battle of egos. When Mbappe took over the spot as PSG's penalty taker, Neymar hated it because he felt he was better at those shots. Peeping the stats, in Neymar's career, out of 89 penalty shots, he only missed 15. In Mbappe's career, he'd only taken 36 and already missed 7. It was obvious that Neymar was better and had a legit reason to be salty, but his saltiness led to things getting heated during a match when Mbappe stepped up for a penalty and choked. Neymar was so pissed, he refused to let Mbappe take another one. Then on the next penalty, when Neymar stepped up, he drilled it. But him making that face wasn't just a celebration. He was taunting Mbappe. Even though PSG won, things apparently turned into a dressing room altercation between the duo. It was said they came head to head and almost came to blows. Now, I don't even want to know what that means, but things were never the same from that point on. Mbappe was seen on the bench pointing at Neymar and trash talking him. He even publicly called Neymar a tramp for never passing to him. The hate for each other had sports shows hella confused, cause nobody understood why they were even beefing over being the top player when neither of them were.
Mbappe's doing it on his own to fill his ego, and Neymar is doing it on his own to fill his ego, because both of them feel like they should be number one. And guess what? Neither one of them are number one. Lionel Messi is part of that team. And as long as Lionel Messi is part of that team, they have to defer to him.
And that bald dude's right. Messi is literally Jesus. Anyways, it seemed like Neymar was the issue all along, but eventually Mbappe had enough and started making crazy demands.
Reports are now saying that Kylian Mbappe wants Neymar out of the club.
So after Neymar heard that, he straight up told PSG he was down to leave, and obviously other clubs wanted to sign him. But now I see why Messi decided, F this, and not only left their club before things got even more heated, he moved to a completely different country. This drama was so out of control, it really broke up one of the biggest super teams in football history, but what Karim Benzema did to a football player didn't only get him hated, it got him jail time. The case started back in 2015 when Benzema was teammates with Matthew Valbuena. Police were investigating random text messages that Valbuena got, where criminals threatened they'd leak a dirty video he filmed if he didn't pay him a bag, and obviously didn't want that to get out. Valbuena asked his teammates for help, and Benzema suspiciously encouraged him to just pay the blackmailers off. The police found that weird though, so they tapped Benzema's phone, and that's when they heard a disturbing conversation.
He's not taking us seriously. Do not worry. He has no choice. I'll make him understand. He will pay.
So with Benzema admitting he was involved, the police went after him and eventually the situation made its way into court.
Karim Benzema has been found guilty of complicity in the attempted blackmail of former France teammate Mathieu Valbuena over a sex tape and sentenced to a 1-year suspended jail term by a court.
It made no sense why Benzema was involved in such a petty crime and trying to scam his own teammate. Because Benzema was actually involved, his own country lost trust in him and they kicked him off their national team. Eventually, Benzema and 4 other friends were convicted, so the hate between Benzema and Valbuena has never gone away. But that entire situation only cost Benzema a few years. Cristiano Ronaldo hates a football legend because they cost him $17 million. The hate began when Ronaldo joined Man U because when he came in, the club started playing like ass. So Man U hired a former football player and legendary manager, Erik ten Hag, thinking this would make a huge difference, but not only was dude a Messi fan, he began putting strict rules in place that seemed like he was only targeting Ronaldo. First, ten Hag randomly said he wanted to control what Ronaldo was putting in his mouth. He banned all players from using personal chefs, something Ronaldo had for over a decade. Now, he was forced to eat at Man U's lunchroom, but that was only the beginning. When Ronaldo started pulling up to the team facility in supercars and had fans and paparazzi swarming the training ground constantly taking pics of him, ten Hag felt Ronaldo cared more about going viral than actually practicing, so dude banned supercars and forced Ronaldo to drive a company car that would cause less attention. At that point, Ronaldo was already hating ten Hag, but things were kept quiet until an important match when somehow Ronaldo was benched for the game. Ronaldo was pissed, but apparently he was benched because of his ego. Ten Hag didn't care who Ronaldo was, and just to rub it in, he gave Ronaldo a chance to play by trying to sub him in at the end of the match. So Ronaldo refused to go in, walked out the stadium, and publicly put ten Hag on blast.
I'm not hiding that the empathy with the coach is not good. I'm honest.
You don't have a good relationship with him?
The empathy is not good.
Do you think he respects you?
I think you don't respect the way I should deserve.
Against Manchester City, where United got destroyed, he didn't bring you on. He brought on other strikers, but didn't bring you on. I felt insulted on your behalf. I was like, well, surely against Manchester City, if you're losing this badly and you've got the greatest player of all time sitting there, you at least give him some time, don't you? But he didn't. And he said afterwards, the reason was he had too much respect for you, he wanted to respect you. When you heard him say that, what did you think?
Excuses. I see as excuses. Well, everyone know that.
Disrespecting you think?
Exactly.